Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's start off this video with a positive note. Know that everything that you do is always with purpose and with meaning. No matter what you're going through, whatever you're facing, just know that your choices are your choices. No one can tell you what to do, and no one can take anything that you create from you. You are a blessing within yourself, and you always have the intuition and wisdom within to choose to do as you know will help you. So as you travel on your path to where you would like to go, whatever situation you may be facing today, know that you have purpose and you have choice. And with that positive note, let's go ahead and get started. So today I want to provide a tutorial. So it's going to be a first impression review. My channel pretty much does a lot of first impression reviews. I do swatches, and I love to come back and just do other types of videos too. Like I have a 3 essentials. I talk about little beauty tips, pretty much different areas where I go and find makeup. So my channel has a lot of different things. Hopefully you will find helpful. But I am basically a budget friendly channel. Like I like to find a lot of discounted items and be able to save money, and also help teach you to save money. And also I may occasionally have some items that I will review that I may have gotten at a full price. So a lot of times I say, like, if I'm gifted those items like for my birthday or for like little special occasions, or like the holidays are coming up, sometimes I may get those items at full price. So today I'm going to be talking about a new Morphe palette that they just recently put out. So I've seen a little bit of the Morphe reviews, not so much reviews, but I think like swatches, and I've seen glimpses of the Morphe palette being shown. So I went instantly to the Morphe store because I want to see it in person. Anytime I see a palette that I become intrigued, I want to make sure I go in person if I can, see the palette, and also be able to swatch it so I get a sense of the texture, way it feels. So I did that over the weekend. So it is the Morphe 35M Boss Mood Artistry Palette. And let me show you the box. So this is what the box looks like. I'm just going to close it. So it is the newer packaging that Morphe has been packaging their palettes and all their recent products in. And it's basically 35 shades. So there are 35 pan of eyeshadows in this particular palette. And it basically has a blend of metallics and also mattes. And it comes, some things just happen, doesn't it? So it comes in a net weight of 56.2 grams, which equals out to 1.98 ounces. And it's a 12-month shelf life. So let's go ahead and get started. So let me show you the palette. So the palette retails $24, and that's in USD. And in terms of the aesthetics, I felt like, because Morphe has a history of sometimes repeating certain shadows in their palettes, or having an overall theme that sometimes tends to be similar, or they use a certain color theme and they kind of expanded throughout that palette. When I looked at the Morphe 35M, and I'm going to show you the inside, it does come with names. So the palette looks like this. There's no mirror. So when you see it, this is the top part of the palette. And this, sorry for my ring light, is glaring on the plastic itself. But this is what it looks like. So those are the names over the shadows. So it does tell you the names. But when I was looking at the palette, I was thinking about the aesthetics of the 35M Boss Mood palette. I instantly got the Jaclyn Hill, Morphe, the Vault collection vibes from it. I definitely see the ring the alarm. I see the bling boss, and I also see some resemblance of the Arm and Gorgeous, and a little bit of the dark magic. But the only thing that's different about the dark magic is that it doesn't have the blue or more of the emerald type shades, the deeper emerald. So it basically does kind of give that spin-off type of look. And except for with the 35M, there is expansions of the greens in this palette and also the purples. And also the metallics having these multi-dimensional texture to them. And the mattes are supposed to be creamy. So this is what it looks like. And these are all the shades. So it does give that whole vibe. So if you have your palettes, because I went on the Morphe website and kind of just looked at the current eyeshadow palettes they have to see if there is like a combination of feels in this palette, and also to help those who may already have some of these colors in their collection from the Morphe brand, that you may not need this 35M palette. I also get the vibes. They also have a 15H Happy Hour palette and also a 15N Night Master palette. They are 15-pan palettes. The 15H Happy Hour contains like pops of gold, pinks, bronze, rosy shades. The 15N Night Master palette contains like more of the plums, brown, taupes, and the mauve type shades. And a little bit, I can see like a 35B color burst, and that's the overall Morphe like rainbow color type palette. Just a little bit, but you will see the vibe. They do expand on the greens and the plums in this palette, but you could definitely see that the bottom row and the top rows does give like, it's like a expansion, a spin-off of the Jaclyn Hill Vault. But I had to pick it up because I was very intrigued in the colors, because it reminds me of fall, it reminds me of the autumn. The bottom, like I would say the last two rows are more like deep plum, so it would be great for fall, winter shades, even to the spring. And the top row is definitely like fall colors. You have those browns, you have those greens, you know, a little bit of touch of yellow, but not quite a yellow in this palette. You have your, you know, your taupes, your golds, your bronzes. So it's almost like an all-in-one autumn type palette. And I love metallic, so when I saw this, I was like, I want the palette. Simple for, it's like an all-in-one, like forested fall type palette. I wanted those metallics because I swatched them and I was like, yes, I need to have them. So you have an array of different eyeshadows. So I was trying to see if there's something else I wanted to share before I get into this tutorial. But you could break down each rose and kind of create a look, because they kind of have it arranged where you can create different looks, whether you're going across in the palette, you're going down, like you're going horizontal, you're going vertically. You could break them down in quads, trios. So that's why I like bigger palettes, because you do have a range of different colors, so you can play with it and really expand it, so you don't feel like you're only limited to a certain amount of colors. Get started. So I think I want to start off with a green shade. So I'm going to stay away from the pinks and the purple and just kind of do like a green type look. So let's go ahead and go in with this green. The green shade is called Green with Envy, and it is the shade right here. So I'm going to put that in my crease. It looks almost like a, I would say like a deep army green color. I'm just going to go in and buff that into my crease. And this may look very smoky, because I love a smoky eye look. So that's that. And I think with shadows, especially if they don't go on right away the way you want it, just be patient and gently blend in the colors. Now this color requires a lot of work, I think, because it doesn't go on super smooth. So I'm having to build that up. And it comes off very like a very deep green. So let's go over to the other eye. Try to blend that in. It's definitely a color that doesn't just go on smoothly. I do feel like I have to really work that color in to my crease. But we are going to make it work, because I don't believe in giving up on anything. And with everything, there is some work in order to achieve what you want. I'm just blending my life away. I wish this palette came with a mirror, because that way I can be holding it, even though I have a mirror in front of me, I also could be holding it up close. So I can make sure that everything is properly blended. because this is a big palette. For that very smoky eye look. So we'll just start there. I can always come back and reapply some more of that color. So let me go in now. I'm going to take that same brush and kind of buff in a little bit of, let me see what color I'm looking at. I want to buff in a little bit, just a little bit of brown. So I'm going to go in with the color Sparks Fly. So that is this deep brown here, right here. So that is Sparks Fly. And I'm going to use the same brush. So this is going to have a mix of color, so the green and the brown. And I'm just gonna see if I can buff some of that in to my crease. I don't know how much will really show, and I'm not even tapping off my brush because I want all the pigment to go into my crease. There is no kick up from the shadow. They are firmly pressed in this palette. So I think Sparks Fly is definitely like a mocha brown type shade. It's basically smoking out Green Envy more as I blend that in together with it. And I'm not sure you all can see that. But we're just gonna be quite fall, quite autumn fall type of look going on here. So let me go in now and start playing with some green. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. contour brush, which is this brush here, and the other brush I was just using my Rose Gold BH Cosmetic brush. And I'm going to blend in more of a lighter green type shade, just so it can give it a little bit of contrast from all this deep smoky green brown color. So I'm going to go in with the color, it's called Stroke of Luck, and it is not Stroke of Love, I'm sorry, it's called Express Yourself. So it is this green, the fourth green shade here. I'm going to use that color. It looks like a green Granny Smith apple color. And I'm just going to start putting it on because my outer corner is pretty smoky. I really don't have to smoke it up or add depth in that area. So I'm just going to start taking some brown, not brown, but taking Express Yourself to the lid, and I'm just going to use a patting motion. And I'm just going to go over my lid with this brush, and I'm just going to blend in that green. And I'm not buffing off the brush because I want all the pigment, and there's no fallout from these shadows. The browns does move a little bit down, so be aware that if you're using this brown, it will move a little bit down to the corners of your eye. But that's okay, because I'm going to use them same colors and smoke out the bottom, or I may not, we'll see. But I'm just going to use this brush and just tap in that green in the crease. I'm not going to take it all over the lower half of my eyelid. I just want to play with that green on the corner. And you can just build up the color to your preference. And it's a very nice green color. Now I'm just going to take it and blend it. Then I'm going to go over to the other side and do the same thing there. Just kind of pat it in first and then blend. I really like that the Morphe palettes are very affordable, and I think it makes it very user-friendly, I mean, to have a lot of different variety of shades at your convenience with a good budget price. And the shadows, I would think, are very good quality. And then I'm just going to blend that in. Because when I was in the Morphe store, there was a lot of people crowding around this palette. And I quickly, when I walked in to the store, the entrance of the lobby is right there on a counter, on the counter end, and you just see it's like facing you. And I noticed with Morphe stores, they will put the newer products out towards the front, so as soon as you walk in, you see it. So I automatically, you know, when I saw, I was like, yes, I'm going to get it. And they was in stock too. I'm like, you are definitely coming home with me. So just blend that in. So that green really gives a nice contrast, and it almost looks green, because it's a light green, but it starts to look very deep with the other shades. I love a good green on the eyelids. It looks so beautiful with brown eyes. Really lighten that up. So let me go ahead and move on. I may come back to Express Yourself. Thank you so much, Express Yourself, for allowing me to express myself. Let's go in with some accent colors. You know what? Let me go in and work on the bottom. Let me work on my lower lash line, and then I'll come back and tightline accent my eyelids. So I'm going to work on the bottom half. So I'm just going to take the same colors. You know, I may take maybe I may take a sparkling color and tightline the bottom parts of my eye. So let me take a beautiful contrast sparkling color. Since we're in the mood of the greens, should I do a green or should I do an orange in the lower half? You know what, we're going to two-tone the bottom with two shimmers, not one. So I'm going to go in first with this color. It's called Stand Out. And it's this color here. And I am going to take that down to my lash line and see how it does. If it doesn't pull off, let me smoke it out. Let me give some smokiness. So I'm back. So I'm just basically trying to see if I can smoke out this part of my eyes without using a supportive base under it. And if I could just use these colors alone to kind of give that bling, that pop of bling. And I'm just using my Eco Tools flat eyeliner brush to do that. So I'm going to two-tone my lower lash line. And on the Morphe website, they do provide tutorials if you want to create any of the looks that they have on the page with the eyeshadow palette. When you click on how to use, and they give you some suggestions. I really like that one look that has the orange and purple. Like, I really like how that look comes out on that model. So then I'm going to go in with I think this orange color, which is called Bright Eyes. And it is this color here. And I'm going to use that to tightline my lower lash line with that, because sometimes some of these colors may need like a base, like an added base to support it. And I'm not wetting my brush because I want to see how they apply without any need for wetting the brush, to see how they do. Now this one it gives a color payoff, but it's not super, so I have to build it up. but it's really pretty. I'm just gonna kind of blend it in with Standout. I'm gonna really blend those two together so they merge. And they do have glitter particles in them, so be aware. If you're someone who don't like a lot of kind of like glittery flecks, then you may not like these metallic shimmers. But they go on really nicely. But I'm going to take some of Green Envy and I'm going to go in and kind of line my eyes with that color. And these shades make great line of your eyes colors. Line it just like that. Just to give a little bit more smoky dimensions to the bottom lower half of my eyes. So let me go in now and work on my eyelids. So let's start adding the accent colors. So still going along with that autumn theme. Let's go in with the color. So I'm playing with a lot of the greens and the golds and the bronze. So I'm going to go in with this bronzy shade called Sheen Stiller. So it's this taupey like bronzy shade here. And I'm just going to put that towards the outer portion. So basically kind of like the middle of my lid, because I don't want to cover up where Express Yourself is on the corners of my eyes. So I got to be really careful not to cover that up. So I'm just going to put it right about here. And I'm just going to pat that in. This one is more glittery and a little bit more chunky. So you may want to use a glitter base, because I could see those glitters moving around from the shadow. So what I'm going to do is wet my brush with this in place. And we're just going to go in and move that Sheen Stiller across my eyelid. Like So now I should have blend. So let me go back in and blend a little bit before I start to get carried away with the accent color. I'm just gonna blend everything in. Sheen still is such a pretty color, but I feel like you have to really finesse this shade over the eye, so I may just take my finger and go over the eye with it. And it's kind of dusty taupe in its undertone, so be aware that's probably why it's not giving off a ton of like voom to it, because it is definitely, it has a smoky undertone to it, like a taupe base. So I'm just gonna I'm just patting the color on my eyes. I'm not gonna move around it unless I'm blending after it, because those glitters are intense. And if you got hooded eyelids like I do, those glitters may transfer up into your crease, so that's why you want to find something to fix them in place. Otherwise, when you look down, look up, they may be up in your area, in your stuff up above. So let's go ahead. Now I'm just gonna smooth down the colors just so they are smooth down. Let me wet my brush. Here we go. I'm just gonna blend that in. And you just want to use a big flat brush to get all that color in its place as much as possible, especially if you're someone who have a lot of space on your eyelid. If you don't, then this is a step that you don't have to worry about doing. So let me go in with another shade. Do I have any more flat shaders? And I'm going to go in with this gold shade, which is called Pop Star. And it is that color right here. And I'm going to pop that on my eyelid. It's a beautiful, like yellow gold, like a yellow, almost in the green, like a citrine type color. It's very gold. And it also has glitter. I can see the glitter in it. So let's go ahead. Let me see. I was gonna say my thoughts, but I'll leave that till I'm done using this palette, and then I will give my final thoughts because I don't want to say just yet. I'm trying to use a lot of colors as possible with this look, so you can see a variety. I know what it is, my skin has been ultra dry. Like, soon as it senses that fall is coming, the dryness starts to come. And I have been drinking lots of H2O to keep my skin hydrated, but for some reason it's still dry. Let me know if you all have skin that does that. Like, no matter how much water you drink, the dryness still makes its way. And I try to keep my skin hydrated with like creams and stuff, butters, but that doesn't stop it at all. Okay, so that's the inner part of my eyes. So now I want to do an inner corner. Excuse me. Now I want to do an inner corner highlight. So I want to go in, I want to pop or something. So I may go with a color that's completely out of this whole green autumn theme type look. And let me go in with a little bit of like a bold purple color. You know, I just want to step out and try one of these purples. I love purples. But there's part of me saying like, no, you need to stick to your theme. So let me, to purple it or not to purple it? You know what? Let me not purple it. Let me just try to stay to my theme. So the color I'm going to choose for my inner corner highlight is called Hot Stuff. So it's this color right here. So that is Hot Stuff, Hot Stuff. So I'm going to get my Eco Beauty brush right here, which is really nice. I love that angle tip to get right up in there and really line it very nicely. I'm going to use that to dip into Hot Stuff and really, hopefully give a great payoff and get right into my inner corners and highlight that. And kind of line it in. Into a different color. That is not the right inner corner I was trying to do. Dipped into the wrong shade. I actually dipped into Bright Eyes. So let me go into, it's like I start off with Hot Stuff and then I somehow dipped into another color. So let me go in with Hot Stuff, which is kind of like a copper amber color. It's mixed in. And I'm just going to line my inner corner. And curve it like so. So you give an opening of the eye. So it looks really pretty like that. And just build it up if you want more intensity. So I'm kind of merging it with bright eyes. And I'm just taking it up some and opening that area. So let's go over to this eye. So there we have it. So that's pretty much my eye look. I use a lot of brushes to try to create this nice, beautiful emerald autumn. Not so much emerald, kind of looks emerald green, but like a deep forested amber bronze type color. So I'm gonna go back in now and just touch up some areas that I just want to touch up because I need to touch up. I'm just going to touch up with a little bit of, I don't like how the green disappears. Like, I feel like this green, which is called Express Yourself, starts to disappear. As I started to do my look, and I really wanted it to stay intense on the corner, but it kind of just got lost with Green with Envy and Sparks Fly. It just merged itself and kind of just laid in there and just disappeared. And I don't know if it just did that on its own or when I was blending, but I want that green to really stand out on that corner. I'm just gonna touch that up, because sometimes when you're done with your look, and then you could have a what's the word I'm looking for? You can do a readjustment to your look if you feel like, no, I need some more of that to really contrast. So that's that, because I really love that green. That green is such a beautiful color. And let me go in with my blending brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of Green Envy, just a little bit, and just clean up the edges, or really just make sure everything is cohesive. Because I want the edges to look very smoky. And just touch a little bit here. Like so. I really like the look so far. Like, I'm done, but I really like that smokiness of these colors. So that is it. And I feel like I keep feeling like I need to just add a little bit more Green Envy to really give that smoky hue. So I'm just going to go back in and just build it up a little bit more. Because I do have some of those sparkling metallics, but I want to make sure I line my eyes to give it a little bit of more depth, because I feel like the colors I choose for the lower lash line to bling it out is not as intense. It's there, but it's not pulling the maximum power. So I think that's it. Otherwise my video will be long as usual if I keep playing forever with these shades. So how do you all like it? Hopefully you like it. It looks, you know, it's that forested green goddess type look. It's definitely pretty. But I will save my final thoughts, so let me hurry up and get through with the mascara and a lippy. I'm going to go in with the Wonder Beauty Unlashed Volume and Curl Mascara that I got from the Botsy Charm. I want to think the July one. June or July, I think July box. And I'm just going to go in and apply my mascara. So let me kind of blend in, you know, because I always feel like I need to blend. Let me blend in these colors that I accented so that everything is cohesive. I don't want to get clocked. Not blending. And this is a good mascara. I feel like, I don't like how a lot of the product comes out of the tube when you pull the wand out though, because I feel like you lose product when it all comes out of the tube and it's just sitting there, and it'll eventually dry up around that tube. Kind of like it that the product would stay in the tube instead of hanging out on the outside of the tube. Just on when you pull the wand out, it pulls out a lot of product. So there you have it. That is my full eye look using the 35M Boss Mood Eyeshadow Palette. So let me go in with a lippy. I use so many colors on my eyes, I may forget everything when I start going over my final thoughts, so I apologize because there are so many colors on my eyes. So let me go and use one of the ColourPop's Matte X lippy stick. So I wonder if I should go with Goldie or should I go with the color La Freak collection that with this color, and this is the box. So I had bought the collection when it was released. So I know ColourPop basically discontinue some of these lippies. I apologize in advance if that may be the case with these. But let me go in with La Freak. So I apologize in advance. My camera cut off, so if you didn't catch the last part of when I was speaking. So I got the bundle from the Persuade Me. So it's the ColourPop Matte X Lippy Sticks collection. So I have Goldie and La Freak in my hand, and I think I want to go with La Freak. I think I want to do a deep color before I do my final thoughts. So La Freak is a deep, like a deep brown shade, like a vampy color. I want to think it has like a red undertone. So let me get my compact so I can make a really clean application. This is a deep berry shade. And it is that season to break out all your little vampy colors. I feel like I have a lot of blush on, a little bit too much blush. So that is La Freak. I really think ColourPop should leave this color as a permanent. It is such a pretty color. Absolutely gorgeous. So that is my completed look. Hopefully you all like this forested autumn inspiration eye look. So let's get into my final thoughts. So my final thoughts about the 35M Mood palette. These are just based on the colors that I used today. I think that some of the colors wowed me, and then some of the color was a little bit underwhelming. Not so much underwhelming in terms of the color, but the finish. Like I expected the shimmer metallic finishes to be like very intense metallics on the eyes. I feel like they're more shimmer, like glittery shimmer shades. Even when I wet the brush for Sheen Stealer to apply here, it gives some pop of color, but it's not like I expected this to be like boom, like blinding intense, but it's still pretty, but it's just subtle. So I guess to my preference, I expected it to be more intense. I expected all these multidimensional metallics to be very intense. Maybe I still need to play with them, which I will continue to play with them, but I really like the look. It is pretty. And in terms of the mattes, Green with Envy took some time to really build up that color. That was one of the mattes that you really have to be patient. You're really going to have to like really apply it and really try to build on it, because it's not just going to go on there with like 1 or 2 applications. You got to really build on it. But once you get it there, it will give a nice smoky type of look with it. Sparks Fly is a nice mocha color. It definitely will be one of those nice transition or outer crease shades. But I just blended it in with Green with Envy, so you may not be able to detect a lot of Sparks of Fly. That was the second kind of crease shade I was playing with. And then I went on the outer crease with Express Yourself, which I really love. That it's like a nice green apple color when it goes on. But if you're gonna wear it, I will probably encourage you to wear it like as a color by itself on the eyelid. If you try to blend it in with Green with Envy, which is already a very deep taupey smoke green type shade, it's gonna kind of get lost. It's gonna get lost, and it may not give as much color payoff from that specific green that you're hoping to see in the palette. Because even as I reapplied it, it has darkened down quite a bit since the last application I put on it. So just be aware that it's not going to stay that beautiful, vibrant green color. I'm going to try to wear it on its own without any other smoky colors around it to see how it does. And in terms of the accent color Hot Stuff, I think that's a really pretty gold, like a very like gold bronzy type color. Gives a great contrast with Hot Stuff. Gives a great contrast with Sheen Stiller. So it's a really nice color for the inner corner highlight. And the other shade that I had used, which is this called, because I'm trying to remember the names that I used. I think what was that color? It might have been, was it Bold Moves? No, I didn't dip into Bold Moves. See, I knew from just looking at all these colors I will forget what I used. So it might have been Pop Star. I might have used Pop Star next to Sheen Stiller to kind of give that yellow pop of color. And then I layered Hot Stuff a little bit in the inner corner on it. Those are 2 nice colors. And I used Standout and Bright Eyes towards the bottom part with Green Envy to Tight Line. I really like those colors too, but Standout and Bright Eyes, a little bit lackluster. You're really going to have to play and really find a way to build up those colors. They probably make great accents like on top of the colors in the color theme. Like if, like for example, it's Bright Eyes is already an orange, maybe layering it on top of next to the color Fired Up, which is a orange. So maybe layering those 2 shades together probably make that color really pop together instead of it being on the lower lash line. So it's probably more of a deep accent color that's supposed to go on the eyelid. So some of these you just have to be creative. I'm going to continue to be creative and play with them and see how they work. Overall, I think it's a good eyeshadow palette, but just know some colors are going to get lost with some of the other colors or not give off a intense payoff that you may expect. Metallics, I expect really blinding colors, and some of the other metallics may be phenomenal in here because when I swatched them in the store, they was fantastic. So maybe I gotta well, as they say, dig off the surface and get down to the nitty gritty and see how they work. So that really completes my look, and I had fun trying out this Morphe palette, because the Morphe palettes, I really like the layout and the color things that they have been doing for these more later palettes than some of the early palettes, because the earlier palettes have a lot of too much of the color things going on in their palettes. With these more later ones, there's a variety, so I really appreciate that. That they are giving more variety and not too many of one color, so the whole palette look very saturated with that one color. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to watch this video. Hopefully you find it helpful. Have you tried the 35M palette? If so, let me know what you think of it. Do you have some favorite shades in the palette? How do you use it? And also, are you thinking about purchasing the 35M Boss Mood palette? Sign off below, let me know. I always appreciate those who are engaging with me, leaving sweet encouragement and nice notes, and taking the time to view my video. Just know that you are greatly appreciated. And to those who have recently subscribed to me, thank you so much for subscribing. Please, I hope that you will stay around and we continue to build upon this old life beauty fam. So with that, I wish you the best. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.